About the time that you and some other guy got the idea to go to Africa to hunt diamonds, and what happened to you and so on. Give the dates.
Yeah, well, in 1892, in the fall, after harvest and everything was through in California, I got with a bunch of fellows. There was 3 of us, and we started to Africa. We were going to go to Washington and to New York and ship across the ocean on a cattle boat to Liverpool, go from Liverpool to South Africa, down to Cape Town and Johannesburg, or in there someplace, and then we were going to dig for diamonds. Well, during this time, we fooled around and we were in Bakersfield, this bunch, and while we were in Bakersfield, we thought we'd beat our way and save some money. So we got on a freight train and beat it, and the brakeman put us off at Mojave along about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We fooled around there and went and got our breakfast, and about 9 o'clock we seen a train coming, and we seen a lot of men on top of it. We didn't know what it was, and when it got there, well, there was some of the guys got down and says, "Where are you guys going?" And we told him we started for Africa. He says, "Well, you can go with us." He says, "We're going to Washington, D.C. He says, "This is King's Army." And he says, "We're going to Los Angeles now, and we're going to hold this train till we get to Washington." He says, "There'll be part of these cars go to Washington." And he says, "The cars that goes to Washington, we're going to ride the top of them till we get to Washington." So we got on with them and went to Los Angeles, and we got to Los Angeles, and the police met us there and took us up to the police station and gave us our supper and took us back down and put us on the train and told us to get out of town. So we stayed on the train and went to Yuma, from Yuma to Tucson. When we got to Tucson, there was some kind of an outfit there gave us some lunch, and we had about 2 sandwiches apiece. Then we went from there on to El Paso, and they took us off the train and took us down to the police station there, and they fed us, took us back up and put us on the train and started us on east. And we went to Austin. No, we went through Austin to what's the name of that? San Antonio. I got to San Antonio where they put us off the train. And when they started out, we climbed back on the train, and they sidetracked the train and left it there, and we had to stay all night. And they wouldn't take that train out till the next morning. And the next morning, they had orders to move the train, so we crawled on and they let us ride. And we got to a place called Sugarland, and I and my partner, one was Jack Fallon, the other fellow called himself Paddy Ryan. I don't know what his name was.
Where is this Sugarland place?
It's in Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, so we made up our minds, the 3 of us, to leave this bunch and get off and get us a job. I was getting short on finances, and so was the other 2. We got off of the train and went up to a place, to a sugar refiner that was there, and was going to inquire for a job. But when we got up there, we seen they were working convicts. So we turned around and went back down to the railroad and thought we'd go on and follow the other train and catch up with them. And we was standing by the side of the train there, and when they started out, and we asked the brakeman for a ride, and he says, "Where you going?" We told him we was going to Houston, try to catch the rest of the bunch. And he says, "All right, get on." And so we got on the train. Paddy Ryan and I got on between two cars, back about 10 cars from the engine, and Jack Fallon, he'd crawled on the gunner rods up ahead farther, and they went to a place called Stella Switch at about 10 miles out of Houston. This Sugar Land's about 20 miles out of Houston. We got to this Stella Switch, and the car ahead of us jumped the track and had a wreck. And cut Paddy Ryan in 8 pieces, they said. When they found me, I was in a little bit of a 3-cornered place between boxcars. I had a broken ankle. They said I was hollering my head off.
Did it kill this other man?
Yeah, it killed Paddy Ryan.
Paddy Ryan died.
Yeah, cut him in 8 pieces. But it didn't hurt Jack Fallon because the cars, there was about 8 or 9 cars stayed on the track, and he was in that bunch, you see. So they got me out of there. This happened about 11 o'clock.
At night?
In the daytime. 11 o'clock at daytime, and it was just sundown when they got me to the hospital in Houston. I laid in the hospital 4 months and 19 days with that broken ankle, and they discharged me out of there, and then I had to hobo it. I was broke, and Dad sent me $5 while I was in the hospital, and I had to make that do. So I beat it from there and I beat it out of Texas and went back up to Missouri, to my granddad's. Stayed there that summer and learned the cigar maker's trade. And after that I went back out to Nebraska and stayed all winter. From there then I went back to California. That was in 1895.